Welcome back to our channel as we explore the island of Mauritius, located in the Indian Ocean. I was really looking forward to exploring Mauritius because my daughter-in-law's family comes from Mauritius, and yet I knew little about the island. And also, my sister Krista would be joining us here. A special event in Mauritius was getting a chance to race with Loic Perron and having him aboard BioTrek. We are Pierre, Lisa, and our Labradoodle Tiller sailing around the world in our Outremer 5X catamaran. Subscribing really helps us with our channel. Thank you to everyone who's already subscribed. We have now sailed 4,000 miles across the Indian Ocean, and upon our arrival we proceeded to the customs dock to do the clearing and process. We're part of the Grand Large Yachting Rally, and BioTrek was the first boat of the rally to check into Mauritius. This picture, taken by Victor, one of the rally organizers, shows the exact location where we hit a rock in the middle of the harbor as we proceeded from the customs dock to the marina. That rock was unmarked and was not in the charts, and the Coast Guard who saw us hit the rock immediately put a marker on the rock so no one else would hit it. A bit of exploration with the GoPro showed that we had damaged our port rudder, which would later need to be repaired. So to keep our spirits up, Luma made us all drinks and we started to enjoy our new location. We ventured out to see the fountain lights that were on display to the music of Pavarotti. In the following days, the other rally boats would begin to arrive, and soon the port was full with the Gliwo rally boat. It's always nice to see our friends again and to have dinner in some of the wonderful waterside restaurants. One of our favorites was at the La Bourdonnais Hotel just in front of the boat. Dogs are allowed to join us if we eat outside. If not, Tiller patiently waits for us. Sailing around the world with a dog certainly has its challenges, and I talk about some of them on a recent post that I put on our website in the blog section. But traveling with a dog offers a unique way for us to connect with people and immerse ourselves in local cultures. And during our travels in different countries, our dog serves as a fantastic conversation starter, allowing us to engage with locals who are curious about the dog or other dog owners. One thing that's quite notable in every town in Mauritius is their history museum or displays describing the history and the culture and explaining slavery in that period, because understanding past history helps in shaping a better future. Mauritius was an uninhabited island until the end of the 16th century, and perhaps is best known for the home of the dodo bird, a bird that became extinct once Europeans arrived on the island. The Dutch were the first to settle Mauritius in 1638, and they named the island after Prince Maurice of Nassau. It was during the Dutch period that the dodo bird was driven to extinction by excessive hunting and by the introduction of invasive species. The Dutch abandoned Mauritius in 1710, and then the French occupied it from 1715 to 1810. From 1810 to Independence Day in 1968, the British occupied the island. It is interesting that despite occupation by the British for over 150 years, French is still widely spoken today. Therefore, like Quebec, Canada, French culture has persisted in Mauritius. The French and British colonial period saw the widespread use of slave labor, predominantly from Madagascar and Africa. The British abolished slavery in 1835, but introduced a system of indentured labor to maintain the labor supply. Many workers were brought from India, and the conditions of work were harsh and exploitive. Some historians consider this period almost like a period of slavery, because the work conditions were not good and pay cuts that were unfair were often made. The huge inflow of Indian workers meant that the rupee was used as a standard of currency, and the Mauritian rupee is used as the currency today. Today, the country is a melting pot of different cultures. Indo-Mauritians make up 68% of the population. The Mauritian Creoles make up 27% of the population. Immigrants from China make up 3% of the population. The remaining population are mainly from France. Must-see in Port Louis is the aquarium, which is walking distance from the marina, and it's really fabulous for kids. The busy port of Port Louis and going up to Grand Bay. We left Port Louis to sail up to Grand Bay, which is north of Port Louis towards the northern point of the island. The rally had organized some races in Grand Bay, and my sister was going to meet us there after flying in from the United States. That's the new toy. The toy destroyer in action. Huh? The weekends at Grand Bay were very busy on the water, with lots of boat traffic, sailboats, just everybody out enjoying the nice weather and the nice location. Lots of people in sailboats sailed by BioTrek to say hello or just to have a look. Remember that we hit that rock in Port St. Louis? Well, with the beautiful water in Grand Bay, that was the time to get the rudder repair done.
So thank everybody for being here.
This is a day that there would be a race up to the north of the island, around some small islands and back. And BioTrek crew was going to be on 2 canoes because our boat was still under repair with the rudder sitting on the salon table. 2 canoes is an Outremer 51, and there were going to be 3 classes of boats. 2 canoes would be in the class over 50. There were only 3 boats in that class: Saga, an Outremer 55, Great Circle, an Outremer 55, and 2 canoes, the Outremer 51. So 3 catamarans, and it was going to be a lot of fun. Just a fun race. Loic Perron would be sailing with Saga, and Victor from the Gliwo would be sailing on 2 canoes with us. If you follow the Great Circle YouTube channel, they have some really great pictures of the race taken with their drone. But I'll tell you right now, the way it ended was Saga was way ahead of us, and they came in first. We were in the middle, and Great Circle was way behind us. So we don't have really good pictures of either Saga or Great Circle during the race. And as I said, it was just a fun race, and we had a really great day out on the water. And as Pierre said, I don't mind coming in second when Loic Perron is on the boat that came in first. To go downwind, the head sail had to be changed, so it was all hands on deck for that head sail to be first sail to come down and to get the other sail up. My sister Krista took the videos of all of the action during the sail change.
Green one, okay? Lunch.
That's Impossible coming in. They won the classic catamarans of less than 50 feet. And there's Tiller, always happy to see us come back as we sailed by the boat and went back to the anchorage. When we left Grand Bay to sail to Trou de l'Eau Douce, Loic Perron jumped aboard Biotrek. Great Circle and Saga were leaving at about the same time, and you know what they say when there's more than 2 boats on the water? Well, it's a race. Here we were beating upwind and fighting a 5-knot current against us. We didn't get very good shots of the whales. We were too busy sailing, but Great Circle has fabulous shots of the whale. I think some of them taken with a drone on their YouTube channel. They were also further out from us and quite far behind, but then we have a faster boat, and we had Isabel from Grand Bay Yacht Club doing all the hand steering, and Pierre and Loic adjusting the sails. However, we just couldn't catch Saga. Pierre figured out after that when he repaired the rudders, he swapped the port and starboard rudders, something he shouldn't have done. It turns out there was a 20 degrees difference between the port rudder and starboard rudder, so that they were misaligned, creating drag. Sorry, Loic, it wasn't your fault. When we arrived at the anchorage, we put the sails away, got our bathing suits on, had a nice drink of either beer or wine, and I got my brand new flightboard out and we all gave it a try. Now, Loic had never been on a flightboard, and look at him, what a star, already getting up and foiling. Xavier, the head of Grand Lard Yachting, also gave it a try, and he started to get it after a couple practices. It's best to stay on your knees until you get the hang of it. While we were at that anchorage, the rally had organized another event on a private island, an island that was part of the Shangri-La Hotel. And Jean-Pierre Dalet was our host at that luncheon, and it was really a beautiful resort where we could spend the day relaxing and just enjoying the company of everyone from the Gliwo.
Oui, tout à fait.
In our next video, we continue the tour of the island of Mauritius. We return to Port Louis and we get hauled out by the biggest travel lift in the world. And then we're going to continue on our voyage over to Réunion, and then we'll be traveling to South Africa. We say goodbye to Luma before we travel to South Africa. She's been with us for 5 months, and it's time for her to travel home and see her family. And we're hoping she's going to meet up with us again.